Rise and shine, everyone. It is 8 o'clock here on this Thursday morning. Thank you for streaming with us here on KARE 11 Plus. Jason Hackett alongside Alicia Lewis. Today's going to be a nice day, so let's not let that get past us. But it's this weekend.
Absolutely.
That's going to be kind of weird, John.
This weekend, yeah, weird. It's just going to be hang out inside kind of weekend. I guess Saturday morning you might actually get out there, but it's going to be maybe 50 and then crash all day. But it is a great day today. Did you get outside yesterday? Now, today we get another shot at it. I'm not saying it's going to be as nice as it was yesterday, but it's going to be warmer. But yesterday was, man, what a day. I just sat there and just sitting there like an old man in a lawn chair watching my kids play for like 2 hours. I was smoking a cigar. It was awesome. So 38 degrees what it feels like. We got calm conditions right now. 28 in Princeton. So it's actually rather cool for a morning when you're going to get into the 60s. Temperatures are going to warm what I call maximum warming today. They're going to warm 30 to 35 degrees. That's about maximum. In the spring, you can do 40 a day, but at this time of the year, you can warm a little bit more. If you want the word of the day, it's called super adiabatic. I won't explain that what it is, but that's why we can warm more. 39 degrees, getting up to 64, 65. Now, south winds are going to get up to 15, 20 miles per hour. It will be windier today than it was yesterday. So I hate to say that today's not a 10 out of 10. It's like a 9.5 out of 10. Enjoy it. We will have some clouds and some winds, but I'm just trying to enjoy days that are 15 to 20 degrees above average, because we're going to have days 15 to 20 degrees below average by the end of the weekend. How about 74 in Marshall, Jackson 71, 38 in Grand Marais, 42 in International Falls, and Grand Rapids at 55. So this is where the snowpack is. They are not allowed into spring yet because of that snowpack. You can't go into the 60s with the snowpack. Now, the big story of the day is the weather impact alert that we issued for Friday night, starting at 7 o'clock. It goes through the day on Saturday until 7. Now, the impacts are going to be thunderstorms and blowing snow. Really? Yes, all of it. Also, we're looking at a 50-degree temperature drop and 50-mile-per-hour winds, regardless of how much thunderstorm activity or snow we get. So it's going to be a busy weekend. As we go into the next full forecast here, we're going to take a deep dive into it in a little bit. How do those roads look, Cece?
I've seen a few crashes out there. Good morning if you're just joining us here on the stream. This is down in Lakeville. Good morning if you're waking up there. 35 northbound near Kenwood Trail. We're seeing a few vehicles involved here. A couple on this left shoulder. Another vehicle blocking this left lane. Around 8 o'clock, that's when this tow truck got here to get this vehicle out of the left lane. But as you're seeing, things going down to just this one right lane as you make your way toward the Burnsville split. 35W, 35E. I'd add a few extra minutes if you're coming up from Faribault, Northfield into this direction, just so you're not late for work.
Good idea. All right, Cece, thank you very much. Overnight here, some major coaching changes announced while you were sleeping by the University of Minnesota.
Just hours ago, the director of athletics there announced that they're firing the men's basketball coach, Ben Johnson, after 4 years on the job. Michelle Beck has what we know right now.
It's been a whirlwind of a night. First, the Gophers losing to Northwestern, then coming home to lose their coach. Around midnight, Johnson learned he'd be leaving the team. That's according to athletic director Mark Coyle, who said he met with the coach as soon as the Gophers returned to Minneapolis. They just lost their spot in the Big Ten tournament. Coyle said this: "I thanked him for his dedication and for guiding the program, one he cares deeply about." The record shows, though, Johnson had one winning season in his 4 years as coach. In his very last press conference leading the team, he still had plans for Minnesota's future.
Well, hopefully there's a chance, if we can, make something here postseason wise to get these guys, especially the seniors, an opportunity to end on a better note. That's probably goal number one, because I know they want to play. And the second piece is, we obviously got to attack the portal.
Minnesota's wasting no time looking for their next head coach. They say they are doing a nationwide search. We do expect to get more details in the next 24 hours, roughly, when Mark Coyle hosts a news conference. Back to you.
Michelle, thank you. Developing story right now getting international attention. The disappearance of a University of Pittsburgh student while on spring break in the Dominican Republic. This morning, investigators are now turning their attention to a St. Cloud State student. We're now learning investigators believe the SCSU student was the last known person with her before she vanished. Audrey Russo has some new details about this investigation.
Here's what I can tell you about that student right now after we reached out to St. Cloud State. Joshua Reeby is a senior. He's from Iowa, and police believe he could hold the missing link in their search. Reports from different media outlets on the ground from the last 12 hours show investigators focused on searching the ocean for Sudiksha Kananki. She was last seen on her resort's surveillance video on March 6th. You can see she's walking towards the beach with a group that includes the 22-year-old Reeby. Authorities from Kananki's home state of Virginia say Reeby was not part of her original travel group. Investigators say her friends returned to the hotel while Kananki stayed with Reeby. He is spotted on surveillance footage hours later without her. Dominican police say he's a person of interest in the case, but that does not mean he's a suspect. And at this point, this is a missing persons case, not a criminal investigation. Authorities say they found Kananki's clothes on the beach, but there wasn't any sign of foul play. Back to you.
Audrey, thank you. In less than an hour, alleged mastermind of the Feeding Our Future fraud scheme, Amy Bach, will take the stand for a third day in federal court in Minneapolis. Cross-examination is expected to start today. So here's what we learned in the last 24 hours. Bach testified that she wasn't involved in the fraud and answered her attorney's questions about various investigations she says that she conducted after discovering potential fraud at meal sites sponsored by her nonprofit. Bach told the jury that she terminated 50 meal sites in response. The judge said she wanted to wrap up the trial by tomorrow, but with more questioning and closing arguments, that seems increasingly unlikely.
All right, taking a live look here at the U.S. Futures Board right now. The NASDAQ, S&P 500, the Dow, all in the red this morning. And it comes just 5 hours after another batch of Canadian tariffs on U.S. imports kicked in. This round will impact just under $30 billion in U.S. goods, including steel and aluminum products, computer technology, water heaters, and sports equipment. And this comes one day after President Trump's 25% tariff on imported steel and aluminum went into effect. And in just a matter of hours from now, G7 leaders are meeting in Canada to discuss tariffs on Trump's shift on foreign policy.
This morning, workers at the Department of Education will be back in person after spending a day at home due to security reasons. This call comes after the department said it's firing nearly half of its workforce, a move that will go into effect next Friday. Governor Walz and other state leaders sharing their concerns, including Minnesota Department of Education Commissioner Willie Jett, who says the potential loss of federal funding could have major implications for schools.
The Minnesota Department of Education disperses these funds to directly support our schools. Our partnership with the U.S. Department of Education, it's critical. This isn't just about politics. This is about making sure that students get the education that they so rightly deserve.
The education secretary says the agency the money saved by slashing jobs will be sent to schools. President Trump says he wants the states to take charge of schools.
Well, if you live in Minneapolis, you're going to want to hear this next story. In about 3 hours, people living at several buildings owned by Investment Property Group are going to be fighting alleged eviction threats. Starting at 11, they're planning to bring attention to what they say are terrible living conditions and will march to the landlord's office to deliver a list of demands. In the last few hours, we've reached out to IPG for a statement. Once they get back to us, you'll be the first to know.
Well, check this out. The Wolves are heading home this morning with their 6th win in a row. That's their longest streak since 2023. The Wolves taking this one against the Nuggets 115-95. So the Wolves got out to a 7-0 lead against the Nuggets and then never slowed down from there. Let's take you to the 4th. Julius Randle taking the lead to 20 with a wide open 3. And then a miss from Naz Reid, and the Nuggets defense just watches the ball roll on the floor. You saw Ant there nail that three-pointer in the corner. Now, the Wolves' next 5 games are at home, starting tomorrow night against the Magic. And then Sunday, as you take a, oh, we don't have the countdown there, but we can tell you 3 days.
There it is.
Ah, there it is. Just popped up. Thank you for that. Nope. Always the wrong direction.
I got you. This.
Then Sunday, 3 days until you can watch the Wolves right here on KARE 11. Tip-off against the Utah Jazz is at 6 p.m.
Sorry, I got into your bubble.
No, it's fine.
Got close to your space. Taking you to the offseason for our Minnesota Vikes right now with some big news since our Sunrise show yesterday morning. The team is coming to terms with Harrison Smith. He's coming back for his 14th season. Fans love it. Sports director Reggie Wilson has the details.
The hitman returns. Look at this tweet from Josh Metellus. Harrison Smith's teammates are excited he's coming back for year 14. It's a 1-year deal worth up to, you guessed it, $14 million. Smith, who turned 36 last month, is a 6-time Pro Bowler With 37 career interceptions, he had 3 last season in 16 games. Smith is the undoubted leader of the defense, and he said many times playing for Brian Flores is some of the most fun he's had in his career. When we talked to him right after the playoff loss to the Rams, he was emotional, but didn't feel like a guy who was done yet. I'm sure he saw the moves the Vikings made this week and wanted in on the fun next season.
Should be fun. And the Vikings making their signings official, highlighted by defensive lineman Javon Hargraves, 2-year, $30 million deal. We're going to hear from all the new guys here in the coming weeks, and maybe more to come.
They've been putting in work this offseason. Good pickups there, very good pickups.
Still need a quarterback, maybe.
Or JJ's the answer. You never know.
You never know. We'll have to wait and find out. Nonetheless, looking forward to it. Meanwhile, here's a live look, Lake of the Isles. Bodega-McCoska there, downtown Minneapolis on 37-degree day, and it's only going to keep going up from here, John. It's going to be nice.
I don't want to ignore the great weather, right? Today, yesterday, tomorrow. But the main story is, well, the craziness that's going to be coming up here. And it is March, so you usually got to anticipate a little bit of the crazy. Now, today, we're going to be making it into the 60s. 64, 65 degrees. The difference from today to yesterday is a couple of blemishes, if you want to call it that. 13 to 15 mile per hour wind. Yesterday was just like 10 out of 10. I came on here, I was like, that's perfection. And it was. Today it is another great day. I'd give it a 9.5 out of 10. I'm not complaining. It's 65 degrees. I'll be out there. 68 in Mankato, 74 in Marshall. My kids were playing in the mud yesterday. I was like, Zoe got her Uggs all dirty. It's fine. I got in trouble later, but it was still worth it. The kids had a great time. We'll do it again today and tomorrow. And then all of a sudden, we'll pack it in. 7 p.m. Friday to 7 p.m. Saturday. We had to issue a KARE 11 weather impact alert day. The impacts are going to be a lot. All right, they're going to be thunderstorms, blowing snow west. Now, the worst of this is going to be very interesting because if you get one of these two, you actually have more significant impacts. We get both in the cities, which gives us less impacts. How does that make sense? Well, because if you're in Rochester, when you get no snow, your storms are going to be severe. And if you're in Alexandria and you get all snow, you're going to get more accumulating snow and no thunderstorms. Does that make sense? What are the impacts we're going to see here? Well, we're going to need to be prepared for a 50-degree temperature drop and probably going to be some limbs flying places, a trash day. I mean, I guess you have trash day over the weekend, but 50-mile-an-hour wind is going to cause problems regardless of what type of precip we see. Now, as you look at the setup, California's active. Whenever California is active, the ears perk up and they go, all right, we're going to be active. It's that simple. It is. Because the whole country, I can prove it, the whole country is going to be impacted by this. If you're not impacted by tornadoes, you are going to be impacted by very, very high winds and fire weather warnings. You can see winter weather warnings all across the Rockies. So this is the first impact. And whenever I'm looking at a strong wind across the country, that tells me the potency of the low itself. That means, yes, this storm is strong. So the hyper-local things like rain, storms, and snow will also be strong. And you could see this at 6 o'clock. I pause it at 6 o'clock because peak heating of the day. Warm front is the tornado. Really, it's where the tornadoes like to focus themselves around. That's going to be in Iowa down to St. Louis. We will get the leftovers of these storms. The storms will be weakening but moving in. And we'll probably see some severe weather in northern Iowa and in southern Wisconsin. And then here in the Twin Cities, we'll get a rumble of thunder or two. You'll take a look at the snow starting to turn over here. You see we're clearly in the middle of this thing. We're literally on the low. It's a Saturday morning. Snow starts to pick up steam in Alexandria and Moorhead. And that could include Sioux Falls as well, really the western part of the state. And then that will lift north up to International Falls. So here in the Twin Cities, we'll get both. But if that's the case, the impacts will be lower. I'm telling you, the impacts are going to be there no matter what. Just prepare for wild conditions. Now, weather impact alert starts Friday all day Saturday. Temperatures will go from 71 Friday afternoon for high. And if you have plans before 7 p.m. Friday, keep them. Keep them. It will be windy, but that's okay. Not 50 at that time, maybe 25. And then we'll drop 50 degrees because by Saturday evening, our wind chill will be 10. by Saturday evening. When you factor in the wind chill, we'll drop 60 degrees in a matter of 18 hours. So hang on to your hats. It's going to be a wild one.
Right, John, thank you. Hey, this morning, students at the U of M are on spring break, but they're coming back to some new data.
Yeah, it's showing the area around campus is getting safer. We have the latest numbers. That's coming up next.
That's good news.
Very good news.
Back to my rest.
8:17, welcome back everyone. Live look outside here, beautiful, beautiful sun there in the sky. It's about 37 degrees right now. It's only gonna get warmer from there. It's gonna be a really nice day today. We don't want that to let that get past you. It's gonna be nice, get outside, enjoy it, because this weekend's gonna be kind of weird. We got snow, we got thunder, we got lightning. It's gonna be all over the place. That's why tomorrow there's gonna be a weather impact alert day here issued by KARE 11. John has all the details. That's coming up in his full forecast here in a couple of minutes. First, we have new data to show you right now about violent crime in Minneapolis and one neighborhood seeing a significant drop. Let's break down the numbers.
I'm Raya Katene. Some good news for University of Minnesota students and people in Dinkytown. Law enforcement says crime in the area is on a downward trend. Data from U of M police shows reports of assaults, drugs, and burglaries all declined from 2022 to 2024. During that same time period, reported thefts dropped from 75 to 30. That's a 60% decline. Meanwhile, Minneapolis police data shows in the Marcy Holmes neighborhood, which does include Dinkytown, calls about shootings more than doubled from 2022 to 2023, jumping from 6 to 14, but then dwindled back down to 8 last year. It is hard to pinpoint exactly one thing leading to these numbers, but U of M police say being more proactive and present in the Dinkytown neighborhood is helping them prevent crimes before they happen. It's been 6 months since the U of M opened its off-campus safety center, and the university is also extending an agreement it made last year with Minneapolis police, allowing U of M police officers to respond to calls in Dinkytown, which they say is making response times even quicker.
Well, St. Patty's Day celebrations are already underway with the holiday just 4 days out. And if you're not there, you may actually be in the next best spot. We're learning this morning Minneapolis and St. Paul are among the best cities for St. Patrick's Day celebrations. That's according to a new study from Wallet Hub. St. Paul ranked 11th, while Minneapolis ranked 17th. The study analyzed St. Patrick's Day parades, access to bars, average prices, walkability, and the weather, which is probably why we're not higher on that list.
Probably.
Both Minneapolis and St. Paul are going to have their parades Monday. And of course, a lot of events will be happening over the weekend as well.
I had to look up the full list because I was very curious. Number one, Cheyenne, Wyoming. I'm kidding. It's Boston, Massachusetts.
Which I thought would be Chicago.
No, Chicago is 6 on the list. Number 3, Savannah, Georgia.
Well, who would have thunk?
Who would have thunk? Savannah, Georgia CC would be a place to go for St. Patrick's Day celebration.
Ooh, that was a good accent. I want you to do that for the rest of the show. Just talk in that accent.
I'll pass.
It was so good. Okay, reach out to us if you think it's good and if you should do that for the rest of the stream. All right, we're going to take you to Roseville right now. Roseville drivers 35W northbound will go down to just 2 lanes between County Road C here and County Road D. That's going to start in about 40 minutes. There's some bridge maintenance work happening starting at 9, but crews should be out of there by 2 p.m. Just shortly after lunch. So things shouldn't impact your commute home. But during that rush, I would definitely add a little bit of extra time, especially as you head towards 694 in that area. John, it's quiet now, but tomorrow could get a little dicey.
Yes, great in the backyard. A comfortable day. Hopefully you're enjoying your morning here. That's a great Thursday. Today is a perfect day. I mean, yesterday was technically perfect. Today is almost as good. 65 degrees. It is March, and the average high is 40. Now, I say the average, but in March, the average means nothing. And we'll show you how and why that works. All right, let's get out to the graphics again. You can see the impact alert starts 7 p.m. Friday until 7 p.m. on Saturday. You know, why do I say, I do obviously talk about the average because it's still an average, but the average in August is useful much more than it is in March, because if you look year to year in March, there are months we have 70s and 80s the whole time. There are months with 0 degrees the whole, and look at Friday, we're going to be at 70, Saturday we're going to be at 0. So you get it all here in the March. You rarely get 40-degree days. So thunderstorms are going to come in here. That's going to be your main impact. Now, we're going to have some blowing snow also. Thunderstorms and snow, right? That is how you get average right there. 50-degree drop from 70 to 20. And yes, the average is right there in the middle. But again, we're looking at possibilities for limbs to be breaking and a high wind warning also probably going to have to get issued for parts of the state, depending on where we're at. Now, we're still a ways from that. The main impacts are Friday night into Saturday morning. Well, we still have a ways to go. You see California starting to really get active here, that moisture pushing on shore. Whenever you see that, the moisture and the energy gets shot across the country. You can already see the high wind watch is in place for this whole area. This whole area is getting ready for winds. Now, why do winds matter? Well, actually, the strong wind indicates the strength of the low itself. Here comes the low, timing this out, Friday at 6. Rain showers are going to be starting to move in. If you have plans at 5 or 6, keep them. I would be prepared for rain at some point at night as this rain lifts to the north. It'll be coming in here overnight. Now at this point, the best, you got to be south of that warm front to have severe weather. So that would be more southern Minnesota into Iowa. And you can see the backside starts turning over to snow here at 8. I'm expecting some light rain during the morning. Now Saturday as you wake up, it'll be about 50 degrees. It's not going to be cold yet. When this low pulls away, it gets cold. Now, the snow band doesn't really want to come directly into the cities. It actually lifts north, so that should spare us from multiple inches of snow. The severe weather, the threat, really hammers Iowa. As we get closer to home, you can see the Twin Cities. We're expecting a few rumbles of thunder. The better chance for a few isolated storms that could be strong or severe is Rochester down towards La Crosse. Now, let's go to Saturday. This is going to be a headline, definitely a headline for the country. Mississippi and Alabama, this is their time for severe weather when these big low pressure centers pass. This one looks exceptionally strong. So again, just be thinking about them. It's going to be very tough for the south. So while we're dealing with our wild temperature change, really it's creating a tornado outbreak to the south of us. So we'll take the 20 degrees Sunday morning. Of course, got the Timberwolves on KARE 11 as well at 6 p.m. on Sunday. What a great day to hang out inside because it warms back up for St. Patty's Day on Monday.
John, thank you. Right now, 1 in 5 homes in Minnesota is dealing with food insecurity. And you have just under 2 weeks left to join our KARE 11 food fight to help out.
All you have to do is scan the QR code on your screen to head to KARE11.com/give11 and pick a team to donate to. Our partnership with the Salvation Army and Cub Foods has already raised more than $21,000. This morning, Team Julie still in the lead, followed by Team Bell and Team Reggie. Keep those donations coming in. Let's get that number even higher. Stick around. We're back with more after this break. Welcome back, 8:26. The art of embroidery isn't just for grandmas anymore.
Not just for you, Grandma. Yeah, Minnesota's home to a global employee-owned embroidery company known as the Embroidery Library. When I heard about this, I had to do a story on it. They create unique, one-of-a-kind designs that you'll only find right here.
A library not filled with books, but with needle and thread.
It takes a very special sort of creative mind to work here. You have to be a mix of an artist and an engineer.
I'll show you guys the digitizing process here.
It's called the Embroidery Library, a Minnesota company based out of Maple Grove that has customers around the globe.
Well, embroidery is an art form where you're using thread and then you're layering it in a beautiful way to create textured artwork. So in the end, you get this beautiful piece. You might put it on a shirt, or you might put it on a gift or a towel, and it's just a beautiful art form.
It's so exciting to see things coming out of the sewing room that I get to paint day to day. It's awesome.
It's here at the Embroidery Library where artists create one-of-a-kind designs that are available for purchase.
We get to live the artist's dream of creating art, putting it out for sale, and then watching people all over the world enjoy it and use it. And we get pictures of people putting it on clothes, and it's just a beautiful thing.
All of our designs show what order of thread you need, any specific instructions.
So day to day, it can vary wildly.
From birds to bees to flowers and trees. Each design is hand-drawn by one of 20 artists.
Probably my favorite part of the process is the ideation and the sketching, like all the possibilities that something could be, and a lot of these things that we draw in our sketchbooks.
Once a design is picked from the website, customers get detailed instructions on how to create their design at home, from thread colors to stitching tutorials.
Now the ball's in their court and they get to decide how they're going to make it and what colors they're going to choose, and that's a real joy to see that when they share that online with us.
So cool. So today the Embroidery Library is a leader in embroidery design. They have 150,000 unique designs for sale, and like I said, they're global. They sell all the way in Australia, all over the world. And when I went there for the story, they watched Sunrise, so love you guys for that. But they made me this cute little baby onesie because they know I'm expecting. And they just whipped it right up with their machine, and one of their artists designed this, and it's just so fun.
It's a bunny on a moon fishing for stars. It's the
Yeah,
most
he laughed.
abstract,
He's like, what?
random
That's just baby
thing.
stuff.
It's adorable, and I love
Bunnies,
it.
moon, stars.
So talented. Everybody that works in there, you got to have a certain passion and a certain level of talent.
They all did. One girl was like, I just love to draw birds, and that's what she did for them. She drew birds every single day. Such a cool job. All right, John. None of us really have artistic talent. I should speak for myself, but do you have a hidden talent?
I don't.
With art? Okay.
No.
You sure?
What is my hidden talent? I could dance phenomenal.
You
with,
are a
Yeah,
really
you are
good
a good
dancer,
dancer.
Yeah,
actually.
well,
That's not very hidden, though. We all know that.
I won't do it dead sober, but if I have a few, just cut the edge a little, then I can do it. What? I'm being serious. Who dances dead sober? Come on.
Not me.
I can, but it looks weird. All right. 71 degrees here Friday. I want you to enjoy today and tomorrow. I'm going to, because I think tomorrow looks interesting because you're like, well, you got the red bar on there. Anything before 6 o'clock, go outside, enjoy your Friday. After 6 p.m., pack it up. Storms are coming in, and then Saturday is a day to just be inside if you can. The roads are not going to be impossible here in the metro. They will, however, be impossible potentially north of Alexandria. Temperatures crash the whole day, and then we get down to a 5-degree wind chill Sunday morning. It's easy.
All right, let's take a look at the bigger map. Check out your route before you make your way out the door. Not seeing too much slowing, actually. I mean, of course, the normal spot's 494, 62, but those should be clearing up over the next 30 minutes. I do want to go back down to Lakeville on 35, where there is that crash blocking some lanes, and see what that slowdown is looking like. I'll have a live pic from there in a few minutes.